hating on my face. They hate me for my fam. Now they hating on my faith. But they made me what I am. They hate me cause of Trump. What they gotta do with this? But it really go to show that everybody hate Chris. Think you know who I supported? Biden or Trump, a debate I avoided. My vote this election I never reported. Cause Jesus, my family, my job was important. Now I'm trending on Twitter, all because some actors chose to be bitter. Refused to fulfill my role as an avenger for Biden's campaign, so they say I'm a quitter. I don't bother what the herd say. I'm not involved in politics in the first place. But if you really want to talk about a story, then you really need to worry about Hunter and his drug face. Cause I heard what they found on that hard drive when I've been chilling, getting busy on a par 5. Going fishing, tending to my farm, live a very simple life, and they still give me a hard time. What's crazy is it started all randomly, attacking who I am and my belief in Christianity. I pray to God that he helped me with my sanity, cause every single day I'm losing faith in humanity. Making my wifey go crazy and act up. Robin and Marka, I appreciate the backup. If this continue, I may need to pack up. My life as I know it, then lead till they slack up. And since my church is conservative, now they hating on the way that I prefer to live. Calling me a supremacist, quite interpretive. I swear I do the most with emphasis on the superlative. I became a target for your hate. This won't only happen when you're great. Guess I consider my fate. In the end though, I'ma be straight. Everybody hate Chris. Everybody hate Chris. Everybody hate Chris. They hating on my face. They hate me for my fam. Now they hating on my faith. But they made me what I am. They hate me cause of Trump. What they gotta do with this? But it really go to show that everybody hate Chris. When you tell me how they think it, they reduce it to my melanin. Like it didn't pay the cost, so my brother took a loss for your chance of the donkey or the elephant, but neither one is relevant. This is for the blacks or the whites that are coming off arrogant. Calling me a traitor for not following, I heard it's absurd, and I heard that it's even more prevalent when you don't understand what I've been through. And blood don't tell me who I'm kin to. That's determined in by the friends who share the same values as me. Don't pretend to act like you know everything that I need. Conservative in the way I believe, regardless of whatever you may perceive. I'm black and nobody can take that from me.
Don't attack me cause I ain't no Democrat. Said don't attack me cause I ain't Republican. Yeah, I'm still black. Yeah, I'm still black. Said don't attack me cause of all my politics. You ain't gotta deal with all this shit that I deal with. Yeah, I'm still black. Yeah, I'm still black. I'm still black.
Take that from me. Yeah. This is my right as a citizen.
No all of my rights.
My freedom cannot be limited.
I do what I want, okay?
Think otherwise, then you ignorant.
Leave me alone, because
And feed your body, and I'm different.
Don't attack me cause I ain't no Democrat. Said don't attack me cause I ain't Republican. Yeah, I'm still black. Yeah, I'm still black. Said don't attack me cause of all my politics. You ain't gotta deal with all this shit that I deal with. Yeah, I'm still black. Yeah, I'm still black.
I'll circle back with you if there's more to convey. I'll have to just circle back with you. We can circle back with him. I'm happy to circle back with you. I can circle back. I will have to.
It's pretty obvious, we all know you're pretending. You have no actual facts for the lies that you're defending. Conservatives not the only ones who find it condescending. The real reason you circle back is cause you know it's never ending. Round and round and round you go, dancing like a puppet show. Just a simple yes or no, thousands watching wanna know the truth. I guess there's too much to ask, like why Biden was at the Lincoln Memorial without a mask, huh? Can't believe what I'm seeing now. Got everyone thinking now. Just how much you get paid, only just to hear you say.
We'll circle back with you.
Circle back,
I'll have to just circle back with you.
circle back,
I'm happy to circle back.
circle back, only just to hear you say. In the beginning we tried giving you a chance, but it seems that
I think the monitor's off for. Song monitor off at the very bottom. So it's a monitor and Welcome to Plausible Foolishness. We are the two kings of the Rube Empire, where the people are free, the taxes are voluntary, and we serve freshly roasted liberal logic every Wednesday at 9 p.m. right here on twitch.tv/plausiblepoolishness, YouTube, Facebook Live, and anywhere you can get podcasts. I am the mad scientist.
The Ivory Tower!
The Ivory Tower, the Philosopher King, and I've got a perspective on things.
What you gonna do, brother? Oh yeah, I've been watching too much 80s wrestling. I am the strong one, the Iron King, and I have a perspective on things as well. Gentlemen, I would have been there today, but I'm not gonna lie to you. For some reason, there were gas lines, and I couldn't get any gasoline to get to your place. What is happening in America? This is insane.
Well, we got hacked.
Huh?
We got hacked.
Hacked.
Yeah.
Is that-
Quotes, hacked.
Is that like when we give quotations to the right hand of the king? That evil, dastardly, Dusty?
Yes, Dusty.
Okay, it's funny.
I changed the titles a little bit, so I put my Ivory Tower.
Yeah.
I changed yours to the Ebony Rampart.
The Ebony Rampart?
Yep. And then instead of Dusty's whipping boy, it says it puts the taxes in the treasury.
The taxes in the treasury. Is that like how Biden's saying, like,
get the hose again.
is that like how Biden's telling us it puts the masks on and locks down, or you don't get gasoline? Is that how it works?
Yes.
Is it the same?
Well, if we would just buy EVs and not have to worry about all these gas prices, we'd all be better off.
Yeah.
Is that why we invaded Afghanistan, was for the lithium, so we do that? Is that what we did that for?
Yeah, for lithium-ion batteries.
Yeah.
Now, really quick question. What powers electricity? I totally forgot that. What powers that again?
In the United States, calling nuclear, baby.
Mostly nuclear. Oh, yeah, that's another thing that we were talking about with the petrodollar earlier.
Whoa.
Why do you think it's not environmental reasons? Environmental reasons is the
Smoke screen?
The smoke screen for why we have nuclear. It's
Because
because
destruction?
it's because our money is tied to oil, and so if we're powered completely without using oil and fossil fuels,
But coal we're mostly powered by coal.
Yeah, coal is a fossil fuel.
But we make most of the coal.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's all of that is tied to the same deal. Yeah.
Give me
No fracking staff.
Give me a couple
every TV show.
natural gas I might need.
Yeah, but Dusty, the TV tells me that natural gas is bad, and it's causing
It
earthquakes.
hurts.
It hurts?
Yeah, especially when I drink too much milk.
Yeah, I get that when I eat too much Taco Bell. Yeah, that's the best way.
I'll be right back.
Where are you going, man? We're in the middle of a show. People have got to see the Ivory Tower all the time, man. It's all good, though. Dusty. So, here's the thing, man. The episode's called Carter 2.0. And for the youngins that have no concept or idea of what the heck we're talking about, we're talking about...
Hey, I'm not that old.
Huh?
I wasn't around for the Carter years. I'm not that old.
We were all born in the Reagan years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How'd your parents like Jimmy Carter? Do you like him a lot?
No.
What? No?
I think most of the country didn't like him, seeing as how Reagan won a landslide.
Oh, that's strange. Weird.
Reagan lost the first time and won the second.
Yeah, so here's what's funny to me is I was making a plethora of TikToks about the Jimmy Carter days, which is ironic because our boy Joe Biden was taking pictures with the Carters a couple days ago. Did you guys see that picture?
Yeah. It looked like he was about ready to muppet her.
Yeah, that was a little weird. And they were very tiny people. Are the Carters just unusually tiny, or the Bidens that year?
Well, they're just incredibly old, so they've shrunk.
Yes.
The osteoporosis has really diminished their stature.
I mean, they're not quite the Ivory Tower. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, and they never will be. With the amount of milk I drink.
But, so, a couple weeks ago, Biden's taking pictures at the Carter Center with the Carters, and we know why now. We instituted gas lines, man. Good old-fashioned American tradition of gas lines. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah? Oh, you know what? Turn off local.
Oh, we have an echo. Echo.
Yeah.
Echo. Is that better?
Thank you, Deep State. Finally, you've spoken some truth.
Oh, jeez. Bart Lemon, who was our amazing guest last week, cows, this wouldn't happen under the Green New Deal.
Yeah, that's right. I believe so. Yeah, is the audio fixed? Can you hear Ray? Can you hear the ebony rhyme part?
Can you hear me now? Good. Bart Deep State.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll go for now. I can hear you. D-State, well, you guys are used to an echo chamber, so I thought it was on purpose.
We have experienced them several times.
Yeah, it's called hurricanes.
Do you remember the toilet paper crisis of 2020?
Yeah.
And then right after that, the oil crisis, where, oh no, we're out of gas. Well, no, we're not actually out of gas. But I think we're out of gas. No, we're not actually out of gas.
So you can't... No. But, Bart, no audio from Ray. How is that possible? Okay, so... Oh, you turned off remote and local.
Did I?
Yeah, remote needs to stay
my
on.
beautiful voice.
There we go. Okay.
Try that.
How about now, boys?
Sorry, we changed some of the graphics, and in order to do that, we had to reset up everything else, and so some things got
Shifted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I blame the nerds. Okay, I just blame the
Hey,
nerds.
I
You're
resemble that
supposed to figure
remark.
this out. Huh?
I resemble that remark.
I resemble that remark. You guys ever seen Trailer Park Boys and Rickyisms?
Yes.
No audio for me still. They can't hear me, man.
Give me a second.
No, they can. They're just
Can
on
they?
a delay.
Yeah, they're on the 30-second delay.
Unfortunately, the audio is fixed out. Thank you, Deep State.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Deep.
you, man. Listen.
We can always count on you, Deep.
Listen, if it wasn't for Deep State, I wouldn't have to worry about running out of gasoline, which prevented me from getting to you guys. So it is what it is. I blame the Deep State. I blame Carter 2.0, a.k.a. Mr. Biden. You know, so it is what it is. Oh, yeah, man. But, yeah, so I'm excited for today, boys. I'm a little fired up. In the Council of the Kings, I hate to even say his name on the radio, but Dusty called me out. He said that I was a little... Did you say I posted a little too much on TikTok recently? Was that what you were trying to say, Dusty?
I said you needed to post less on TikTok and get your butt over here.
Listen, bro, first and foremost, I was watching a contract babysitting all day, okay? I won't bore you with the details, okay? I'm a part of the machine. I'm part of Deep State. I am the Alex Jones controlled opposition of this group, okay? That's what I'm here for. I work with Banks. I work with the man. It happens. I was babysitting some Wisconsin people. Now, anywho, that's boring.
Don't these people know how to work during business hours?
What?
Don't these people know how to work during business hours?
First of all, they're bankers. Okay, they're 9 to 5. So 9 to 5 on the what is that Central Time with Wisconsin is 6, and these sloppies work till like 7 for some reason, as if money's gonna change or something. Like frick, it's money. Okay, wait, we'll talk about that later.
You want to see money?
Foreshadowing. But anyways, at the end of the day, that's what had to happen. Unfortunately, couldn't be there today, but you can see my sexy and you can hear my voice now, so it's all good, man. But I'll tell you what, boys, I mean, I'm surprised at people's surprise to our current state of gasoline. Is anybody else surprised by this?
No.
Well,
I'm not surprised.
That's because you guys are relatively intelligent human beings. We talked about this on the show a long time ago. Like, a couple things that, elevated the gas prices, right? Like, the gas prices are creeping up faster than Joe behind a 12-year-old little girl. And it's really weird how it's happening. And I'll tell you why. We talked about this 4 months ago. Remember that little thing called the Keystone Pipeline that got shut down magically? No, remember that?
Yeah, I remember. Day one.
Yeah. What, 70,000 jobs lost?
80.
80,000 jobs with one pen stroke gone. One of those 7,000 executive orders. Whoa. So I was a little late. Oh, don't touch me there. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you were talking about sneaking up Joe.
Well, like we said, it's on a delay, so.
I apologize, boys. I'm so sorry, but listen. That's the only analogy I can think of. Gas prices creeping up fast, faster than Joe Biden about a 12-year-old girl. But anyways, did I say it again?
You did.
Really fast. Okay, sorry, apologize. My point is this. We talked about this 4 months ago. Then with a pin stroke, remember all of public drilling magically went away. Does anybody remember that with the executive orders?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why would we want to be energy independent? We had it for like 2.5 years, right? 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
3 years.
It wasn't that great.
What do you mean, low gas prices? Record low gas prices?
Yeah.
Can you handle those? Job creation? A booming economy? That's based on the petrodollar? I mean, come on, man. Why in the world would that be a good thing? That's horrible. We can't have Americans free and making money and growing and prospering. We can't have that. So the very first day, the plant himself, the selected one, Joe Biden shows up, magically gets rid of the Keystone Pipeline and pins away our ability to drill on federal land. Interesting, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then, I don't know if you guys remember this, but there's a few things happening in the world right now. Our border's completely locked down right now, right? Correct? No one's crossing the border?
No, there's still quite a bit. To the tunes of hundreds of thousands.
What are you talking about, Dusty? That hasn't been in the news.
No, they just stopped reporting on it because they figured if they bury it, then it just will go away.
Okay, conspiracy theorist.
You're
supposed to be the reasonable one.
You guys are calling me the conspiracy theorist here?
Dusty.
Me? Really?
Dusty. You are the whipping boy, and you are the guy that's supposed to keep us non-conspiratorial on the show. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing?
I'm not being conspiratorial.
Silence,
I'm telling the truth.
Anyways, there's kind of a border crisis. They finally acknowledge that, but they don't talk about it in the news because we want to talk about everything else that's going on other than that. Now, so that probably strains a few things as well. So you're starting to get now. If this stuff would have happened in crisis, everything's in crisis,
Sure.
everything's in shambles.
Mm-hmm.
If your gas prices jump, if you have created.
Okay, I was actually watching that because I was like, okay, the jobs numbers are going to just plummet. And I was watching it, and I actually saw the guy when he's reading that report, and he's just flubbling, like, oh God, I have to actually read this. Somebody stop me from reading this. 200,000 jobs.
Yeah.
That can't be right. Hold on, let me check something.
But here's what you found. So, just in case you missed it, kids, Carter 2.0, we were in the Jimmy Carter administration, circa 2021. Lowest job creation in 36 years. Was 36 years ago when Jimmy Carter was in office? Was that at the beginning of Reagan? It would be the beginning of Reagan, right?
I think that was the beginning of Reagan, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Reagan's got to bring us out of the hole.
No, it's already 2021. So the
it'd be 40
90s would be
years.
30.
What would that be?
So 1990 would be 31, so it would be 1985.
85, okay, gotcha. So I was one, bro. So that's a Reaganomics. So
That was 5.
yeah, beginning of Reagan. So now we got the lowest job in creation, coupled with super high unemployment that's going on right now. Has anybody talked about that? Super high unemployment.
Why is the employment so high?
Well, because we're paying people to stay home because of the flu.
What?
I mean, that's a conspiracy theory. Everything we're going to talk about, Deep State, is conspiratorial today. But you are literally incentivizing people by not going to work.
The national average of welfare, unemployment benefits, let me put it that way. The national average is $16 an hour. So any of these places that raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour still aren't making enough to make it viable, or to make it worthwhile to go to work rather than stay at home and collect unemployment.
As AOC says, they need to pay their employees a living wage and they'll come back to work. They want to work. The employers just have to pay a living wage, and I'm using quotation marks to the nth degree on that.
Yeah.
That's assuming that people have good intentions.
Oh, yeah. And as we know, nobody is beyond bad intentions.
I mean, let's be real. If you're sitting home and you're getting your welfare, and then on top of that, Gropey Joe is sending you some stimmy money, every quarter. Why do I need to go work, bro?
I can stay at home and play Apex.
Huh?
I can stay at home and play Apex.
Yeah, man, I can just stay home, play video games, collect a check. It's all good, man. Have those idiots pay my taxes, brother. And while that's going on, the dollar is growing in value, right?
No.
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 What's the dollar?
We're going to be experiencing transitory hyperinflation, as admitted by, I think, Bank of America.
Yummy.
transitory. So it'll be temporary.
Yeah, it's going to move from place to place.
When has anything that has been instituted by the government been temporary? And if it changed, it usually was through bullets. So let's get real with ourselves.
Yeah.
See,
I mean,
it's got to be
slavery
something
changed
that was good.
bullets.
That was temporary.
What?
There's got to be something good that the government did that was temporary.
Oh, okay.
I just can't think of something good that the government did.
I know one thing that they did that was temporary.
What?
Lower taxes.
Yeah.
True. But like we said, it never lasts. But, it is what it is. But, we had that during Orange Man days. You know what I mean? So we got the pipeline. We got job killing actions increasing. The fact that there's not as many jobs being created. Then on top of that, you're incentivizing people not to work. Then on top of that, you're flooding our country with people who likely are not going to work. They're just going to show up and do what everybody else is doing. Inflation, and then
while sending that money back to their country of origin.
Yes. So then on top of that, let's throw in a nice little hack attack there on the jugular there, the Colonial Pipeline. And, hey, Jimmy Carter 2.0, boys and girls, yay!
A hack attack that the government had nothing to say to the Colonial Pipeline people.
Oh no, that's a civilian problem.
Yeah, that's a civilian problem.
Civilian.
So they had nothing. They had no advice, nothing. It's almost like they're happy that the pipeline got shut down by this.
It's like they want it to happen. That's strange.
As
Deep state.
As one of the followers on our Instagram said, what's next up is them pushing the New Green Deal real hard.
Yeah.
And if you've been paying attention to what's going on with the World Economic Forum and Davos, the Great Reset, essentially the New Green Deal policies are all throughout the Great Reset. And they're already starting to, from what I understand, they're already starting to implement that in Europe.
Hey man, I'm excited.
And we won't be far behind. I mean, they're coming for us too. They want the Great Reset is a global reset.
They only have 3.5 years to get it done.
What's that?
It'll never happen in America. Never. Democrats and liberals and globalists love America. Yay! No?
I mean,
yeah?
I'm all for clean energy.
Sure.
Nuclear energy is great.
Viable. I'm down for nuclear.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Clean energy, nuclear energy.
Yeah. I'm down for that.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm down. That's
the only clean energy source that we know works. Reliably. Consistently.
Spoiler alert, Central Florida, you have nuclear. Just want to throw that out there.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't Florida have the most nuclear plants out of any other state? Or is it Texas?
What?
I thought there was only a few plants.
There's 4.
So there's
4
3 Mile Island.
No, there's 4 nuclear plants in the state of Florida.
4? I thought there was only like 4 in the country.
No.
OUC has been trying to raise money for the last 5 years to build a 5th nuclear plant in Florida.
Good. Let's do it.
I'm down.
There's actually one just outside of Orlando.
Think about Dusty. There are 5 nuclear plants now in the state of Florida. There are 5.
Oh, there's
in the state
5.
of Florida. There are 5, and let's take a look. In the U.S., there are currently 60 nuclear power plants in the state of Florida, or in the country of the United States, and most of them reside on the East Coast. Shocker, where it's cheaper. That's weird. Interesting. And a lot in the South. That's strange. Prosperity? Peace? What? Yep. I can't believe it, bro. But yeah, dude, I mean, it's, I'm down for nuclear. I'm down for it. Is it nuclear or nuclear? Am I saying it wrong?
Nuclear.
Nuclear
vessels.
Nuclear whistles. I got a dude, Captain Nuka Wessels.
No, you got the wrong person.
What?
Chekhov.
Yeah,
Chekhov.
Chekhov is.
Oh, sorry.
Nuclear vessels.
Did I just merge Scotty and Chekhov at the
Yeah,
same
you
time?
did. You really did.
They're nuclear vessels.
I'm sorry, everyone. My nerd is showing.
I don't have the power. Yeah, I've got the white and blue on my Scottish white and blue. I'm ready to rock, bro. Sorry, Scotty. Rest in peace, brother. But may the fourth be with you guys.
You got one too many fingers up.
What? What are you
If
talking
you're doing
about, bro?
Scotty, you've got one too many fingers. He was missing a finger.
Was he?
He had it blown off in World War II.
Seriously?
Yeah, by a grenade.
Oh yeah, Scotty did, right? It was his pinky,
Pointer finger.
pointer. Okay. Yeah, that's a nerd fact. I knew that. I forgot about that, man. Because he would never do scenes with his hands, right?
Correct. He'd always have it hidden in some way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He was really good at it.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
But I never really watched
knew-
much of the original series.
Well, he didn't really show it until the movies, right? He didn't show his finger blown off
Yeah.
until the movies. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that was like a nerd fact. You know what I mean? When you're watching stuff over again and stuff. So,
Yeah.
but anyways, enough nerds. None of this nerd crap. No, but nuclear power, I'm down for it, man. I'm actually down for coal too. I mean, gosh forbid. I mean, most of your electricity in America is coming from coal plants.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, and it's actually we've developed technologies to make it pretty darn clean.
Pretty clean.
Yep.
Wait,
You know,
wasn't
unlike
there-
China, which doesn't give a crap.
Didn't our emissions drop substantially under Donald Trump?
Why are you saying his name?
We're down under Orange Man actually after we got.
We can decrease
Only.
our greenhouse gases.
Of course,
you know,
gentlemen.
That's just a fact. That just
Facts.
a pesky little fact
Yeah, you gotta
man.
watch
that
out
we
for those.
lowered our emissions. You know,
But hey, listen, guys, I'm just excited for the new Build Back Better, right? I mean, the whole thing was Build Back Better.
Yeah.
well, and you know that phrase is that's the marketing campaign for the Great Reset.
Yes, exactly.
It's just
What?
translated from a different language, which is why it sounds so bad in English.
Yeah.
But it's
Build Back
alliteration.
better. That's
Build Black Better. I mean, Build Back Better. What? Too much alliteration. I can't say it, bro. Sorry.
So,
Anyways,
so the idea of Build Back Better, we raise the gas prices, make gas so expensive that people have to buy EVs because that's the cheaper option to lower our greenhouse gases, but also make our cars and us more dependent on the government because they can control those cars.
yeah.
also, you know, in an effort to save Mother Earth, we want to make sure that we have landfills filled with car batteries,
Oh yeah,
giant
giant lithium
car batteries.
car batteries that are massively pollutant.
No, they're massively green, bro.
No,
No,
they're
yeah,
massively pollutant.
What?
The amount of
No.
plastics
How
and
could they?
lithium
No. How could you
and
say that?
precious metals that they have to use in order to make
How
them
could you possibly say that?
is incredibly pollutant.
Listen,
No, we need to go to. We're saving the Earth, brother.
And currently, there is no way to recycle lithium batteries.
What? What are we doing in Afghanistan then, bro? I don't understand.
We need new lithium to make new batteries.
Oh. Hey, and I've heard that solar's really good at, everyone is muted now as you referred to the Orange Man. Deep State. Did you do that?
I actually checked the mic settings. Steve State, I hate you. You got into my head.
Noah, what's up, man? Make sure you hit that subscribe, broski. Noah from Instagram. What's up, man? How you doing, bro? But yeah, boys. I mean, it's just interesting. It's what a world of difference 100 days makes. So 4 months later, we have literally reverted all the positive gains that we got in the last 4 years. How amazing is that, boys? How amazing is that?
Well, that was
And
the
it's
thing
impressive.
about Trump, the whole savior Trump mythos. Let's say.
Sure.
I mean, he was doing fantastic things, and the occasional thing that you're like, well, no, that wasn't good.
Yeah, but he was tweeting. He was tweeting. How dare he tweet?
Yeah, there's that, and there's other policies that they did, like the bump stock bans, and there's other things that I didn't like,
Yes.
But he was making tremendous strides, pro-America, America first, bringing back manufacturing in direct opposition to the whole petrodollar concept and the our dollar being the reserve currency for the world concept, which is what we've been running on since 1971 and the removal of the strong ones paid his taxes. Way to go.
What? What are you talking about, boys? Huh?
Yes. See, even
What?
the kings pay taxes
I don't know what you're talking about.
voluntarily.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absurd. Who would do that? What a fool. It's like I believe in this thing or something, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's way easier to do this when I'm remote, though.
But
First of all,
bringing back manufacturing to America was in direct opposition to those things that we've been doing since we got off the gold standard.
Because heaven forbid people work.
But none of these things were irreversible. That was the thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, everyone's like, oh, he's going to save America. Even if we got another 4 years, what was he going to do that couldn't be turned around day one of,
well,
That wasn't
crazy
turned around day
leftist
one.
president,
Well, at least delay the inevitable. You know what I mean? Like, listen,
Agreed.
I'll be real with you. Like, another amazing thing that the Orange Man did was peace in the Middle East. Like, hadn't been done for a long time, right? We didn't have crazy things other than the magical explosion in Lebanon that was interesting. That looked like a nuclear bomb, but we won't talk about that one. That one got flushed in the memory hole fast. But like relative peace, there was like 4 Middle East peace treaties. Listen, we know how the Bible's written. We know that Ishmael will always be a wild donkey, and he will continue to attack Israel, aka there will always be unrest in the Middle East. It is inevitable. Okay. But gosh forbid, wouldn't it be nice to delay the inevitable for a little bit longer, to save some lives, to give people chances to live? Gosh forbid we support the people of God, good old Israelis. Yeah. Is that horrible? Is that so bad for us to do?
Somebody holding up the arms so that the Israelites can battle a little bit longer.
Yeah, man. I mean, is that wrong? Is that so wrong? But,
In today's world, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's pretty evil.
Don't you know that Israel is an apartheid state?
Is it? That's interesting.
So that's the garbage that they say.
I have a question. In apartheid, did the whites ever give the blacks their own land, own sovereignty, own freedom, and ability to start their own country? 5 times?
No.
No, wait. 5 times? What are you talking about? They have
5
never,
times.
ever offered any of that.
Well, that's false. 1937, 1947, 1967, 2000, and 2008.
What? No way.
Oh, yeah, and by the way, in 2005, they completely left the Gaza Strip, which is, where all those missiles are coming from. I mean, sorry. Wait a minute. We weren't supposed to say that.
Yeah.
We weren't supposed to say that. But it's just interesting to me, like, when people... Because I bring that up because that
all land, by the way, which they won in wars that they did not start.
Yeah, I know that's true. Because
they went deep. They fought against enemies in wars that they didn't start, drove them back to their capital,
and stopped.
Didn't take any of that land, but just took what they claim according to their religious texts and our religious texts.
Sure.
That was theirs originally, was theirs promised to them.
Weird.
Most countries just take it.
No, but the Palestinians were there the whole time, even though they just started calling themselves that in the 60s. But we won't talk about that.
Yeah, they did just call, but the region was named that, in
the Roman
times.
Right?
Times.
but they hadn't even called themselves that until the 60s again.
For sure. Well, that's the thing, is that, like,
African-American
but
was not term.
the nation of Israel existed long before there was a Rome.
Yeah, I know. No,
So even then, you know,
you would
it's still
have to. You'd have to believe the actual biblical text, that, you know,
or even just historical text. We know when Rome came about. We know when they named it Palestine.
Yeah.
But we know that there was an Israel there well before there was the Rome.
Yeah. Now, before we get crazy in this, I want to say this. Again, this is episode 160 of Plausible Foolishness. If you're on Twitch right now, you're missing the whole show. If you hear some weird, innocuous, beautiful, sexy ivory tower voice in this really almost Quasimodo type voice, I won't, dare say his name, Dusty. You're missing out on the full show. So you gotta head up. Could you see Dusty with like a hunchback in the back, like? No, listen, Dusty's beautiful. That's a lie.
Quasimodo.
I apologize.
Would you me as Quasimodo?
This is what you signed up for, bro.
This is what you signed up for. Silence. But what did you call me? The
Ebony Rampart.
The Ebony Rampart. Hey, make sure you head over to twitch.tv/plausiblepoolishness. That's twitch.tv/plausiblepoolishness. Come check out. Why don't you let this guy in the show? Why do you like? Of all the things I've called Dusty, Quasimodo is the one that triggered him. Of all the things.
Yeah. I don't have a hunchback.
I'm just playing.
Dude.
They don't know. The audience doesn't know. You don't show your face on the show, man. They don't know. You know what I mean?
Everyone knows I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's true. But I'm just saying, you never know, bro. You never know. Anyways, make sure to twitch.tv/plausiblepoolishness. Hang out with me, the Ivory Tower. And come hang out with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Huh?
Hello there.
Hello. Anyways, so we're back to Carter World, right? So, when the Middle East was complete, crap show like it was before. But back to the history lesson, because I think people miss this because we have the memory of the fish. Like, we forgot that 9/11 happened. Let's get real. Like, how many people have completely forgotten 9/11 in some form or fashion? Right? Like, I'll give you an example.
No. Never forget.
No, but here's the thing. When Biden was talking about January 6th, the riot itself, he said it was the worst thing that has happened to the government of the United States since the Civil War. Think about that. Not Pearl Harbor, not World War I, not Oklahoma City bombing, not freaking 9/11, the Civil War. Okay, now he was around in politics back in those days. I get it. It's probably fresh in his memory. But my point is, just kidding.
What's your point, though?
My point is, people have zero concept of history.
Are you saying he's not right? He's saying that
very leftist.
Well, that's true. But
yeah. I would say that
are you saying that president, the most popular president
in all of
ever,
history,
is not right about that statement about the Capitol riots?
Yeah, not even close. Not even remotely close. Especially as more things transpire. The fact that only one person actually died, and it was from some innocuous person that we don't know in the Capitol that shot this poor lady. And they haven't released any of the footage. Has anyone noticed that by any chance? No footage left over? No footage. The only thing we've seen is casually Buffalo guy walking into the Capitol building, people walking in lines inside. We haven't seen the actual rioting or destruction.
And the footage of the woman getting shot.
And the only footage that we have gotten is from people that were streaming it live.
Yep.
That's the only footage we have from inside there. We don't have any of the Capitol footage, which there are literally hundreds of cameras.
The ones where the ones where they're filing in line and not even crossing like the movie theater barriers. That wasn't a Capitol camera.
Or the cops letting them in, saying
that was definitely
come
streaming.
But that was streaming. That was a streaming.
I feel like the one where they're just walking in line was a higher up view.
But to your
Either
point,
way,
if it was so bad, where's the footage of American citizens destroying the capital city? Where's it at? Where's the footage?
yeah, where's the footage of them planting the
Show
bombs
us.
the day before?
Just show us.
Supposedly.
But hey, that's a conspiracy theory.
Show us the evidence.
Huh?
Show us the evidence. Is that why they
Yeah,
haven't
exactly.
actually gone to court about any of this?
Sure.
Because then they'd have to release it into evidence.
Uh-oh. And the next
I don't like them putting
Well,
chemicals
do they
on
even
water.
have to go to court? With the Patriot Act, do they even have to go to court?
No,
They
no.
just hold you forever as a terrorist.
Yeah, no.
But this
no.
This is my
Technically,
point.
they can't do that.
This
What are you
is my
talking about?
point.
If you're a terrorist, you have no... They just seal you away forever.
Guantanamo, brother. But my
no.
point is...
Yes, no.
Yes, no, yeah. But my point is this. We have zero memory of what's going on, right? We have zero recollection of things as they
The two
transpire.
kings do.
Well, we never forget. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm
It's
like an
not
elf.
perfect recall, but it's damn near perfect.
No, it's called total recall. Do you understand what I'm saying? You feel me? You
The
feel me?
face splitting.
Get the Maz! Get the Maz, you son of a bee! Get the Maz! That's one of my favorite Arnold movies. Love Total Recall. Total Recall. But like
Start the
here's,
reactor.
what was his name? Quado? Quado.
Yeah.
Watto.
Yeah, so gosh, why are we such nerds? I'm sorry. Nerds.
We are really going deep on the nerd end.
Bro, we're nerding today, man. Listen, Jimmy Carter is taking us back in time. Okay, he's taking
Well,
us there, right?
if you really
We'll
want to
go
go back to
back
Jimmy
in
Carter
time.
days, we could always talk about Star Wars.
Remember when it was good? No, anyways, my point is this. You go back in time, right? So the reason why I bring this up is because history gives you context of things that are happening, right? History will always give you context, okay? So when there's videos of Israeli missiles going into the sky, of course the mainstream cuts the feed of what those missiles are actually doing. What they're actually doing, they're part of a system called the Iron Dome. And what the Iron Dome does, it's a military missile system surrounding Israel so that when Jabroni Jordan or Jabroni Syria or Jabroni Lebanon or Jabroni Gaza Strip or Jabroni, Egypt.
You mean
gets
all of
pissed,
them?
all of them, the Muslim Brotherhood themselves get pissed and just shoot at them. Their missiles instantly detect where that missile's going, the trajectory, and blow it out of the sky. It's literally a force field, hence the Iron Dome. Okay?
Well, there's actually two parts of it, but yes, for the most part, you got it right.
Dusty, we're trying to keep it simple here, broski.
I'm sorry. The second part is just the coolest Gatling gun ever made.
You're mostly correct, but
Dusty, you're mostly correct.
You guys got to talk about the coolest Gatling gun ever created.
What, the real gun?
hit us with it.
Hit us
Okay.
with the real gun.
This thing actually tracks missiles and shoots 2,000 rounds a second.
Is that the big box one?
Yeah, the big
and it
ball.
uses electrical currents to ignite the gunpowder?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, they use them
It's
to
pretty
protect
crazy.
ships from missiles.
Mhm.
Well, they have them set up all over Israel as the second wave deterrent for rockets and things like that.
Yes.
It is the coolest thing ever to see those things go off.
With that being said, and it is cool. Trust me, I think it's awesome. The railgun. Have you seen railgun videos on YouTube?
With the railguns?
Yeah.
Whatever's in front of it just disappears. It just
Oh, it gets vaporized.
it's just gone, which is cool. So my point is this: the Iron Dome is there to protect the Jews in Israel. Okay,
And the Palestinians and the Arabs that live in Israel.
Correct.
Yes.
Because there's
Everybody
plenty
lives
of
in Israel.
Arabs that live in Israel. They're free. They own businesses.
Yes.
The only
They
thing that
choose-
I've heard is that they can never be citizens.
Yes. Gosh forbid. Because of history. Okay, so let's talk about the history, okay? Britain has occupied Israel, what we call Israel, for a very, very long time, right? Up to after World War II, when Israel got its independence in, 1948? Is that when it happened? 1948? 48, the nation of Israel is created after all of the crazy genocidal things that were happening under good old Hitler. Does anybody remember Hitler at all? No? I mean, listen, I get it. Trump was literally Hitler, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not quite, right?
Yeah.
So the Jewish people finally have the historic lands that they historically owned since way before the Roman days, aka the Promised Land. It's the size of New Jersey. To give you context, kids, Israel is about the size of New Jersey. If you've been to New Jersey, have you guys been to New Jersey?
Unfortunately.
Yes, there's nothing to write about it. It's not that big. It's just a little piece of land up against the Mediterranean, okay? That's all it is, right? That's all it is. But from the inception of Israel, the very first day Israel was created, every Arab nation surrounding them attacked them. Anybody remember this?
Yes.
Immediate day one, when the Brits left, when the evil oppressor colonial white people left, Israel gets attacked day one. And tiny little New Jersey repels essentially 6 nations attacking them, okay? This is back in 1948, okay? Now, keep in mind, Israel in 1937, before it was formed, wanted to work a deal where the Arab people living in the area would have land and sovereignty of their nation when it formed. Guess what happened? The Arabs at the time, they didn't even call themselves Palestinians, rejected, okay? They rejected. I'll tell you why here in a second. 1947, before the formation of the actual state of Israel, Israel goes to their Arabic brothers and says, hey, we will give you land, sovereignty, in your own nation. It was actually even agreed upon by the United Nations, or not the United Nations. It was the League of Nations back then? It was one of the big ones, okay? Agreed upon.
I think it was League of Nations was disbanded prior to World War II.
So it would be, okay, United Nations.
It was UN.
Google search it, fact check me. Don't believe anything I'm saying, look it up for yourself. 48, they're saying, hey, listen, we'll give you land, sovereignty, we'll live in peace, we'll be a Jewish state, you guys be an Arabic state, we'll be all good. They attacked them on day one of the formation because they rejected it. They did not want to have a part of it, okay? Fast forward 20 years, 1967. Is anybody familiar with the 6-Day War? Anybody know about that?
Yes.
Yes.
Every Arab nation attacks Israel after Israel once again proposes to the Arabs in the area, we'll give you this land and sovereignty in a 2-state system. What's your response? Let's go kill the Jews. That's what their response was. And after 6 days, they repelled the Arabs again and took tons of land, pushed Jordan way back. They took parts of Egypt. If you recall it, they took the Sinai Peninsula.
Yep.
They took everything because they're like, listen, if you're gonna just attack us, we gotta protect ourselves.
Well, they fought them back to those areas. They fought them back all the way to the capital.
Yes.
But they didn't keep it. The only thing they kept was more of what was historically theirs.
Yes. And what's funny is they repelled Egypt back to past the Sinai Peninsula and gave it back to them. They pushed Jordan way back and then gave them back Jordan. You know, this is what's insane. They literally fought off people that were trying to kill them and gave them back land and sovereignty and power, okay? 2000.
Okay, keep going. Keep going.
2000. They meet in Camp David, okay? They go to Camp David. They say, hey, listen, let's meet together. Let's try to make this 2-systems situation. You have an Arabic state, or they call it a Palestinian state at that point. That's when they started the Palestinians. You guys have a Palestinian state. We'll give you land. We'll do it up. We'll have peace. We're going to offer you peace. We'll have a Jewish nation. You have a Palestinian, okay? I think it was Arafat at the time was meeting with Clinton, and I forget who the the Jewish prime minister was at the time. For 14 days, they hang out at Camp David. The Palestinians rejected everything. You know what the response was after they rejected? The fourth time Israel in its history tried to get their own land. They sent a bunch of suicide bombers into Israel, and it was a crazy mess. Okay? 2005, literally Israel leaves the Gaza Strip completely. Okay? Where all those missiles are coming from right now, under the control of Hamas, fueled by Hezbollah, guess what? They gave up that land. They said, listen, you guys keep this land. We're not going to mess with you. Do your thing. And all they do from that land is shoot missiles from schools, from hospitals, from all these soft targets, hoping that there's no retaliation, okay? Now,
or hoping that there is retaliation so that their allies in the media can paint a bad picture.
We're impressed. Now,
not to mention the
propaganda.
propaganda. Well, not to mention the propaganda videos that they create, where they show all these dead children, and then you see later in other videos the same child.
Yes.
Yelling in protest or whatever.
Exactly.
It's all fabrication and lies, and our media.
Fake news. The media?
And our media promotes it like it's real.
Okay.
We know it's not.
That's 4 times Israel tries to give Palestine their own land, two parties or 2-state system. You do your thing, we'll do ours, we'll live in peace. 2008 has been the last chance Israel has given them. This is the 5th time Israel tries to give a 2-state system to get peace in the Middle East. And guess what the Palestinians did again? They rejected it.
To be fair, in 2008, they said you can have your own land, but you have to make women and gays equal.
Silly. You silly colonial. How dare
I can see why they
Israel
wouldn't want to do
actually
that.
does that. All women are equal to men. All gays, you cannot kill them. They're equal to everybody else.
Strange.
They hold elections. I mean, they're about as democratic as you can possibly get.
Yeah. Strange.
And yet the liberals hate Israel.
Yeah. And this is what's
Maybe
amazing.
It's never about democracy.
No.
It's not about democracy. It's not. It's about Genesis 3, but we'll get back to that in a second. But my point is this. I really badly want peace in the Middle East. Okay? I say this not facetiously, not with the typical strong one, chicanery, okay? I truly want peace in the Middle East. I have Jewish brothers and sisters. I have tons of Arabic brothers and sisters. I've got Arabic and Hebrew tattooed on my arm. My literal tattoo has Arabic surrounded by Hebrew, okay? This is a very passionate topic for me, okay? One of my business partners was from Lebanon. One of my best friends of all time from Lebanon. I train with Lebanese guys at the gym. I hang out with Palestinians at the gym. I'm very sensitive to this situation, okay? What's ironic is all my friends that come from those countries come here and they don't hate Jews. Weird. That being said, okay? Weird. So, that being said, okay? I want peace in the Middle East, but spare me the propaganda. Just like Matt was talking about. Don't sit there and tell me that Israel is out there oppressing and killing people when 5 times of land that they have historically owned and continue to maintain and conquer, try to give it back away. Think about that. Essentially, think about this, just giving you perspective. Imagine that America had been in America historically since the beginning, since we've known, okay? But that's not the case. We came over later on in, 1700s, okay? Now, imagine if we said, hey, listen, Mexico, we're going to let you keep everything from Texas over since you guys were here. No problem, no issues whatsoever. And Mexico said, screw you, we're just going to kill you because we don't like you. We're going to attack you. Okay, well, we start a fight. We Alamo them. Well, Alamo ended up bad for us. But we attacked them, pushed them back, literally beat them back and say, hey, listen, we're just going to go back to the original 13 colonies. You can have your lands, just stop attacking us. We'll sign an agreement. Here's your agreement. You're a Mexican state, we're an American state, we leave each other alone. And you continually reject it. And we have to defend ourselves because you keep attacking us. We have to push you back, and then we just keep giving you back land. Anybody would state that that would be noble. Would anybody think that would be a noble cause? Anybody?
I would.
Or am I crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, we're crazy.
When you conquer a land, you occupy that land and you defend it. You want it back, you fight for it. Well, guess what? Y'all tried that numerous times, and it don't work. And Israel just keeps getting stronger. They train people to take you out at the age of 10, okay? They're ready to rock. Khal McGraw. You guys know what Khal McGraw is? It's like a fighting style with like guns and knives and blah, 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 blah. They teach that to all their citizens, okay? Don't mess with the Jews. They will hurt you, okay? They will hurt you bad. Like,
yeah, every citizen has to do a term in their
military.
army.
Yep, military.
Yes, every citizen
at least 2 years.
Every citizen is ready to go. Okay.
You see,
Quite honestly,
you
I
see
wish the United
Gal
States
Gadot.
would do that.
So now?
No, I'm not for that.
I am.
I'm not. That's counter to freedom and liberty.
It is.
I
think it would help a lot of the libs.
Yeah. But at what cost?
Well, I just wouldn't want to give libs the ability to actually harm people. I want them to be the pussycats that they are.
Good
Truth
point.
be told.
Show them a picture of a gun, it scares them just as bad as the real thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You see, Gal Gadot was crying. Was not crying, but like she was she was speaking out for peace.
Okay.
And then got blasted for being a apartheid supremacist, blah blah blah, anti-Palestinian, whatever. This is Wonder Woman.
Yeah, but think about this.
And she also served in their military, which is cool.
But think about that. She served Israel, right? Wants peace. Like, if anybody should hate anybody, it's the Israeli people. They keep rejecting peace. You should hate these dirty blah, 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 whatever. You want to call them expletive. But they don't. They're like, listen, we just want to live here in peace. Can we just live here in peace?
So are Palestine's anti-Semites?
Huh?
So are Palestine's anti-Semites?
Yeah, but they're. But that's the thing. The whole
thing
point
is that they're Semitic as well, so.
They're Semitic as well.
But I mean, think about this, guys. Like, that's what's amazing to me in Carter 2.0 is the charge against Israel doesn't match history or reality, and the media will ignore Hamas, will ignore Palestinian attacks over and over and over again until Israel retaliates. Says, stop, bad dog, leave us alone, don't do this. Here's a peace agreement. You want it? No, not again. Oh, geez, shock. This is the way. And Israel somehow the oppressor.
Here's another interesting little tidbit about Palestine and Palestinians. From the way we talk about this, this situation, it would seem like the West Bank and the Gaza Strip are their ancestral homelands, and that's the only place that they live, right? Right now they're forced into the Gaza Strip because of evil Israel, and they're fighting to reclaim their land, blah, blah, blah. But there's a whole very large contingent of people of Palestinian descent, let's say, in Jordan. Does anybody know that? Do we also know that they're treated like garbage? In Jordan?
Yeah.
Like, they're like the Kurds in Iraq. Like, the Kurdish people in Iraq, they were treated terribly.
Yep.
They were the minority, and they were treated terribly. They were gassed by Saddam Hussein, and a lot of them are Christians, and they were actually one of the better fighting forces, allies in our efforts in Iraq. But that's how the Palestinians are treated in Jordan. Nobody talks about that. Jordan's not a bad actor for treating the Palestinians so terribly.
But the trick is, how can we hate Jews without looking like we hate Jews? Because we can all acknowledge that Hitler was bad, right? We all
Absolutely, he was terrible.
Was bad. I mean, Hitler was bad. I can't believe people would hate Jews like that. And then 2021, we hate the Jews.
2021, you have an actress of Arab descent,
Mm-hmm.
literally quoting Hitler on Twitter, and nobody says boo about it.
But listen,
did you see that?
I saw that. But her
Did you
name
see what the quote was?
Trump. She's not the orange man, so we let
Yeah.
that fly.
She's not literally Hitler, so.
She just quotes literal Hitler quotes.
And she's not a Republican.
Did you see Did you see what the quote was?
I heard about it. I didn't actually see it.
It's basically him saying, "You would have thought that I would have killed all the Jews, but I left some. I didn't kill all, so that you could see why I killed them, so that the world could see why I killed them." Disgusting.
How's that not
She
banned
just
on
puts
Twitter?
that on Twitter.
How's that
And
not
Twitter
banned on
does
Twitter?
nothing.
How's that not banned on Twitter?
Because
How? Yeah.
That's
I
definition
wonder
of
which
hate
way
speech.
Twitter is leaning.
So, Twitter is anti-Semitic.
Yes.
The media is anti-Semitic.
Yes.
Our politicians now, especially on the Democratic side, because they do not want to stand with Israel, are anti-Semitic.
Yes.
So what's interesting to me is if you teleport these people from 2021 to 1940, they would have been Nazis as well. True or false?
True.
But that's not surprising because these same people were eugenicists back then too, by the way.
Mhm.
Margaret Sanger.
What, do you
all
mean
those
the
people.
early 20th century progressives?
Yeah. It's like they're doing the same thing they did before.
You mean the ones who taught the Germans the final solution?
Yeah.
Did you know that Iran used to be called Persia, and they changed the name to Iran because they wanted to be friendly with Hitler? And Iran literally means Aryan.
Seriously?
Yeah,
I did not know that. That's bad, bro. That's bad.
they were big fans of what Hitler was doing.
So, but this is the
So like,
wizard. Right?
this is at the time that the state of Israel did not exist.
Yeah.
The Iranians, the people of the Middle East hated the Jews so much that even when they weren't in the region, they wanted to see them exterminated. So they changed the name of their country to Aryan to be better friends with the mass murdering psycho.
That's
who
a
was running.
conspiracy theory. That's a conspiracy theory.
It's not.
We-
It's just straight
we
up
love
history.
all- But here's what's more disgusting to me. This was disgusting to me. The left, progressives, liberal logic, all of them claim to love all people. Right?
No, they don't.
You love all people.
No, they don't.
Tolerance, my friend.
Well, Black
They're
Lives
intolerant.
Matter, tolerance,
They're
LGBTQ.
only
But if you're a
intolerant
Jew,
of evil ideas.
They're intolerant of anything that isn't their idea.
Agreed.
but think about that. You're supposed to be the tolerant, accepting, loving people. But when it comes to Jews, they bad. When it comes to white people, you bad. But this is the absurdity, and people literally think that I'm being so sensitive and caring because I'm a Democrat or liberal or that thought process. You are just, you're one step away from Hitler. You're just a glossed over Hitler. Just like we've said how many times on the show, progressives, liberals, Democrats are the same races that were lynching black people in the South. They were the slave owners of the South. They were the eugenicists killing babies in the womb. They're the people killing mentally handicapped kids back in the 20s. They're the same people that were all about Hitler in the 30s and 40s. They're the same people that are allying with other people.
The ideas haven't changed.
Haven't
Just
changed
the
at all.
words that they use to express them.
It's just a
Okay.
different makeup. It's just a makeup, man. It's like, have you guys heard of fake up before?
Fake up? No.
Fake up.
That's
It's
all
like
makeup.
when you see the most dog ugly chick on the planet, she's probably a 3 at max capacity. Okay, but she is just phenomenal at makeup, and it somehow turns her into a 9. And then like the next day, she washes her face, and you're like, dear God, like what just happened? That's progressivism. my God. It puts her wide open, right? But it's the same thing. Progressives are just phenomenal at makeup. That's why they're really in tight with LGBTQ, and I'll just leave that comment there. There's a joke to be had that I'm going to leave alone. But my point is this. Like, there's a reason. I didn't do it, Dusty.
You didn't have to. It's still funny.
I know. I wouldn't want to make a tranny joke whatsoever. But anyways,
We just got banned.
Oh, we're banned. We're off.
Oh,
we're
we
not.
said Hitler like 30 times. We've been
It's
banned a
Hitler,
long time ago.
Hitler. And even in a negative context, but they'll still ban us for acknowledging the fact that progressives are literally Hitler. But but that's the thing is like it's just a phenomenal facade, and people that are low information will literally think, oh, the Palestinians are being oppressed right now. Really? I want you to be queer eye for the straight guy and go to Palestine right now. How are they going to treat you?
Kill you.
If you have no Y chromosome and you show up to Palestine, how do they treat you?
They're going to kill you.
Oh. Or, acid
Well, they might only rape you.
They might just rape you at genital mutilation. No big deal.
Oh, yeah. No biggie.
Not a big deal.
NBD.
Right? Like, you are defending a culture, historically, that doesn't value any of the causes that you're talking about. But what's magical...
Are you saying they support intolerance?
1,000%. Because they're not tolerant at all. And that's what I'm getting at. Like, that's what fires me up, because now I'm looking at my friends. I love my friends here that are Palestinian. But here's the thing. You have an amazing life, an amazing situation, because you're culturally... You're not culturally Palestinian anymore, homeboy. You're not those people. You're not. If you were, you would hate Jews, but magically, you love the Jewish people. You love them here. You may secretly hate them. I don't know. I don't see that. It is what it is. But let's get real with ourselves. It is a completely different world. And the idea, in the lack of context, because we forget everything historically, is amazing to me. We forget that if you put a jackass in office, selection, a.k.a. Jimmy Carter, you're literally going to have gas lines. You're going to have the worst president of all time. They knew that, just like they knew that Biden, after he got selected and put in, that this stuff would happen. We knew historically that, guess what? Jews and Arabs don't get along. Not because Jews are trying to kill Arabs. Because I always pose this question to people, okay? If right now, the Jewish people say, we're done training our people, we're done with the Iron Dome, we're done with guns, we're just going to lay them down right now, and we're just going to be peaceful, and we're going to be Zen-like, you guys do whatever you want to do.
They're
What's
dead
gonna
in
happen?
2 hours.
That long?
Yeah, just because it takes that long to travel the entire state of Israel.
Within the hour, Israel would be eradicated off the face of the planet. Now, let's flip it. Let's say that the Muslim Brotherhood decides today, right now, we're done, we're putting down our guns, we're not going to fight anymore, we're getting rid of all of our bombs, we fight no longer, we will not fight, we're going to live passively, we will live as a pacifist. What happens to Jordan?
Nothing.
Egypt?
Nothing.
Syria?
Nothing.
Lebanon? Iran?
Nothing. They might absorb the Gaza Strip into... One of them might absorb the Gaza Strip into themselves, but otherwise, yeah.
Let's just say, nothing would happen to them. Because play it out, Gideon. Play it out. What happens? And that's what people literally don't do anymore or think this through. The Jewish people have no desire to conquer or take over. Because if they did, in 67, when they rocked everybody in the 6-Day War, they would have kept all that land. They didn't. When they beat back everybody on the day of their inception in 48, they would have kept the land. They didn't. They would not. You don't offer peace treaty deals, two-system deals. You don't offer sovereignty and a new nation to people who literally just tried to kill you if you were the evil, terrible oppressor. But guess what? The media spins it so beautifully. And people are still listening to mainstream thought process or media on this. To me, it's laughable. Just like these same dumbasses, pardon my French, that literally are shocked that the gas prices jumped and that we have a shortage in the Southeast.
How dare you?
Am I crazy? Am I taking crazy pills right now?
Probably, but yeah, unfortunately, the craziness is actually true.
I was watching Doug Wilson. You guys follow Doug Wilson at all on YouTube?
No.
But I've seen.
He's a pastor in Moscow, Idaho. You can ask your boy if he knows him. Dusty. You can ask him if he knows him.
Okay.
But he's like, I've given up on the idea that at some point the madness will stop. I've just given up on that idea. Like, we think that at some point people are going to stop being crazy. We literally think people are like, at some point, progressives, liberals, called what they are, satanic psychopaths will stop this madness. But they won't.
It's got to end somewhere.
Well, they won't until we cower. Okay? They won't until they have complete and total control. They won't stop until they can oppress, until they have control and they have power. That's all this has ever been about. In the Middle East, right now, like, does anybody else find it interesting that the fuel crisis is happening in the Southeast? It's in a Trump country. Anybody talk about that? Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky. Anybody talking about that?
No.
Isn't that ironic?
But where's all the job growth happening?
Yeah. Right? Keystone Pipeline goes right down the middle of the country. Connects all of those countries. Any of those states go for blue? No matter who? No. I mean,
Colorado, but that's it.
No, Colorado, yeah. You got the weed up there. High times, bro. But, like, at the end of the day, like, this is all intentional. And sadly, it's controlled by complete morons. Like, I don't think, I forget who hit me up with this, but one of my buddies that listens on Spotify, which if you listen to us remotely on Spotify, we love you, we appreciate you. At some point, come check out the live stream. We love you guys live. But he literally asked, he's like, do you think this is like an evil, diabolical plot? I was like, yes and no. I think that the people doing this aren't smart enough to realize what they're doing. I think that they're getting played. I think they're really dumb. Because does anybody really think that Joe Biden's brilliant? Anyone?
No.
Mr. Dementia?
Like, he literally doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
At all. Do you think Kamala Harris really knows what's going on?
No.
Cackle, cackle, cackle.
No, she's a clown. She's an authoritarian clown.
But that's what globalists always want. They want idiots in power. Again, I'm not dissing the UK, my UK brothers and sisters, but does anybody look at Boris and think, man, Boris is brilliant. He's so smart. Such an intelligent guy. Oh, I'm going to stick for freedom and conservative values, and we're going to lock down England 4 times. 4 times!
Yeah.
Science! It's not even science.
No, it's not.
It's scientism. It's religion.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not science.
Kind of like Canada, shutting down churches.
Like,
Canada's been
exactly.
abysmal.
Like, Canada is locking up pastors.
Yeah.
Because how dare they have church?
Does anybody think that Justin Trudeau could you think he could build an engine block? Do
No.
you think he could code.
No.
Like this is the thing is that unfortunately.
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't want him to either.
No,
but I don't think he can effectively run a government either.
No.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like the scary thing is the most effective politician and world leader that we have had to date was a real estate mogul. Think about that.
Mm. And a TV celebrity.
Yeah.
A TV celebrity, real estate mogul. That has been the most effective, most powerful.
Well, but he actually did something, you know?
But that's the
Sure,
thing.
he got $100 million from his father to start his business, but he turned it into billions of dollars, you know?
Brother's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But think about that.
So if he didn't have Dad's money of hundreds of $1 million, then he never would have been able to make the billions of dollars. Actually, I think he probably would have.
It may not have gotten $2 billion. Don't know. But he definitely could have made millions.
Mm-hmm.
Hundreds of millions.
But think about this. It always seems to be like entrepreneurs that do really, really well in these positions.
Mm-hmm.
How many professors are you seeing going into public office and actually making a great impact?
Very few. The two positions that usually the least educated go into are the military and political fields, where both positions need to actually have the smartest people.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Everybody dissed our boy, what's his name? Who is the, that's going to drive me insane. That is going to drive me insane. He had a book, Doctor, first person to surgically remove Chinese.
Ben Carson.
Ben Carson. He had no political background.
Mm-mm.
Did a phenomenal job at his post. Because he had some semblance of success.
That we heard nothing about.
Exactly.
By the way.
We didn't hear about it.
Never once. If the only time that I heard something about him as the HUD director was at the beginning because there was some kind of little minuscule scandal that's CNN wanted to report on to discredit him because he sided with Trump.
Yep. But here's the thing.
And then nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I always thought was odd, and then chalked it up to he's probably doing a pretty good job, or at least not doing a bad job.
He's part of the opportunity zones situation. He's part of a lot of the successful things happened in the Trump administration. But here's the thing. He had no political background, but guess what? The guy was successful in other forms, other places.
Mm-hmm.
The illusion is we think that the people in charge of us are actually intelligent. They're not. They're really not. And we hide behind the idea of degrees, position, blah, 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 blah.
They have a certain kind of intelligence for the most part.
I would say, not politically, but I would say emotional. I think their emotional intelligence is high. Because they're very good at getting to the pulse of stupid and being able to get stupid to move the exact way they want them to.
Exactly.
Well, all they use is fear to control mob.
So essentially cult leaders.
In a lot of ways, yes.
We have the equivalent of Charles Manson-like people that have that level of skill running and being in positions of power. Justin Trudeau is literally locking up pastors in Canada.
Yes.
Okay? We have a dementia patient destroying our border and our ability to make money and control world. Think this through.
And keep money.
Not
just control money, but keep money. He's taking it all away.
That's the thing. But we assume that everybody below them is intelligent too. No. Biden gets there because there's a bunch of idiots in line that are like, oh, this is the idiot that we want to put in front. And we pretend every single day that, hey, man, and we're just going to put Jimmy Carter in there. Good things are going to happen. We'll put the guy up. We'll put him there.
Yeah.
Nope. We'll put the dementia patient in. We'll select him. We're not going to, gosh forbid, we don't talk about the Arizona.
TV told me Orange Man bad, so he got to be better than Orange Man.
TV told me Orange Man bad, but they didn't tell you the business success the guy's had. And it translated incredibly well to an amazing 4 years. But TV also is not telling you about what's happening in Arizona right now, which I don't want to get into until it's finalized, boys. I'm not going to lie to you because I want to talk about it badly.
They're not telling you about what's happening in Israel, not really.
Nope. And they're not telling you about what's happening in Michigan right now. They're doing a forensic recall of the ballots. You guys see that?
I didn't see that, no.
Yes, I
They're not telling you about what's happening in China, you know?
Nope. Not at all.
That's all. None of that is the so-called mainstream media.
Nothing about the border. Nothing about China. Nothing about the Uyghur Muslims. Nothing about the recalls that are happening right now. Right now, they're happening. Arizona.
Right here, right now.
Huh?
Right here, right now.
Right here, right now. They're not talking about what's happening in Israel.
They're not talking about what's happening to the dollar.
Yep.
The 4% inflation that they said, that if you actually run the numbers from Clinton's time, it's 8%, and if you run it from Carter's time, it's actually closer to 12% inflation.
Yeah, because they fudged the numbers. They don't.
Oh yeah, they always fudge
Their calculation is completely bogus.
Yeah. You know, the other thing they're not talking about, what happened to the most deadly virus of all time? Why have they still not released the total death count of 2020, by the way? Still haven't released it.
Yeah.
They have estimates, but they have not released the actual numbers.
But we need to vaccinate all teenagers.
Did you hear that they're estimating that 90,000 people died last year from overdose?
Jeez.
90,000 people.
They're not talking
died
about
from
the
overdose
either,
last
by the
year.
way.
It's despair.
Yeah, the divorce rate that went up to 64%.
Yeah, they're not talking about that. They're not going to talk to you about that. They will not tell you what's actually happening in the world, which is unbelievable. But that's what's missing right now is, like, this is why shows like Plausible Foolishness exist. Because we're going to point out history lessons of Palestine and Israel that they're not going to tell you. They're just going to tell you, oh, the Jews are bad. Because they're just the same.
Apartheid!
Apartheid! Not even remotely the same situation.
Not even close.
Because we know that apartheid's bad, but what we don't want to do is tell you that, well, you know, the Muslim Brotherhood.
We don't even know what the apartheid in South Africa was really all about.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
I can't tell you that I know the full history of apartheid in South Africa.
Nope.
Quite honestly, I don't even know what apartheid is.
It's like...
I know it's supposed to be bad, but I don't know what it is.
It wasn't the slavery of America. It was just they were second-class citizens.
They treated Africans complete second-class citizens.
So black people in South Africa were like a complete second class. They were treated like garbage.
But just imagine
they could still have jobs and stuff, you know.
But it was
they would never have been a good job.
Yeah, it was a perpetual Jim Crow. I mean, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
now, was every white person complicit in it? No. But the government did defend it, and they were kind of the last holdout. South Africa's the last holdout country to be like, yo, let's get some, civil rights going on. Now, that being said, there's no civil rights in Iran. There are no civil rights in most of the Middle East. All these countries that you're defending right now hate blacks, hate whites,
hate Christians,
Jews, hate Christians,
well,
hate
everybody hates Christians.
But yeah, the mainstream media is okay with you hating Christians and white people.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. And Jews, they're okay with you hating that. But, I mean, that's the reality of the situation. But that's why the shows like this exist, because we need to bring up the history, bring up the fact that Jimmy Carter is doing did the exact same things as Biden. And guess what? Jimmy Carter is regarded as one of the worst American presidents of all time. Think about that.
And yet they still go to him for advice on stuff. The left does.
Jimmy, tell me how to be crappy. Tell me. You know?
Yeah.
But
wouldn't he go back to his best friend Obama to get that information?
Yeah. The thing is, Obama wasn't the worst president because we don't want to sound racist, and Jimmy Carter exists. That's the only reason why Obama is not one of the worst presidents of all time. But we won't talk about that either.
The last time we had an oil crisis like this was in Obama's term.
Dusty, don't tell facts.
The last time gas prices went above $4 was in Obama's term.
That is true. I remember that.
Because he inherited a big mess. We all know this.
But
I mean, I'm not gonna
but that
doubt
was
the Bush
like 4 years into his term.
Yeah.
I know.
He just
he
kept
didn't
on
inherit 4 years.
He just kept on inheriting.
He inherited 8 years of bad
Yeah, man.
social practices. Okay.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Well, just like
He inherited
think about it
bad
this
war.
way: just like Ronald Reagan's policies eventually ended up with Bill Clinton having a surplus in the budget.
There's quite
No.
a bit of time in between Reagan and Clinton.
Yeah.
I know.
There's a
I'm
guy
joking.
named Bush in between there.
I'm joking. I mean, that is true. It is true that, you know,
And there was also a guy named Dick
That-
Cheney.
there was also the internet boom, which, you know, nobody could have predicted because it was a brand new technology.
That
But,
saved Clinton, though. That saved
Oh,
Clinton's space.
it so
from that,
did.
though.
But
invented the internet.
he inherited it. You know, really, what happened was he did inherit a crisis that the
Yes.
government created,
Yep.
i.e., Bill Clinton.
Yes.
If you look into what he forced the banks to do,
Sure.
Subprime loans.
exactly. But
Because everyone deserves
the banks are also equally guilty for what they did with the subprime loans and cutting them up, and basically they basically sold bad financial products that they knew were awful to people, and they shorted them because they knew that they were going to fail.
Which was horrible.
Yeah.
But don't defend Bush because he bailed it out. Don't defend Bush.
No,
Yeah.
we're not
Bush-
defending Bush by
no.
any means. But we're saying
Bush
what
is
led to
responsible
that.
for Iraq War, Afghanistan,
Yeah.
bailing out banks.
Yeah, bailing out the banks was the wrong choice. But then on top of that, everything that Obama did prolonged the pain,
Yes.
i.e. FDR and the Great Depression. We're the only
Yes.
country that calls it the Great Depression.
Yeah.
It was a recession everywhere else because they did the exact opposite of what we did.
Yes.
And in fact, in the early 20s, we had a worse stock market crash.
Yep. 1929.
Yeah. Well, 1929 was the Great Depression. That's in the
stock
early
market
20s. In the early 20s and the late, 10s, there was an even worse stock market crash than the crash of 29.
Okay.
But Calvin Coolidge was our president, probably one of our greatest presidents. He cut the budget in half and lowered taxes, and then we had the Roaring 20s.
No way.
Yeah.
If you get...
What do you mean you got the government out of the way?
Yeah.
No way. Well, boys, that's why I'm glad this show exists, because we bring the truth and let people know what the heck's going on so that they know, hey, listen, we're telling you the truth. Now, here's the beautiful thing. If you don't believe anything that we say, don't. Research it for yourself. Would anyone disagree with that on this show?
Deep State. Deep State with the voluntary taxes. And he says, "Can I show you my vacuum? Because everyone should get their vaccine." Deep State with the dad joke.
Amen. Listen. That's a good. I mean, we had the 12-year-old dad joke for Biden. We had there's some good things going on today, man.
Yes.
All right, boys, we got to wrap this show up, man. Can you please tell the people what this show's all
No
about?
final thoughts?
Man, final thoughts, man.
Final
thoughts. Give it to them, baby.
Well, you go first.
My final thoughts are this, man. I've kind of come to a place where, as a follower of Christ, the more you read the Bible, the more you realize, like we've all thought this over the last year and a half. There's no way it can get worse. Well, hate to spoil it for you, but it's gonna get way worse and way worse and way worse and way worse till King Jesus comes back and rights the whole ship. Okay, and The reality is this, man. If you don't know Jesus right now, you got to do something about it. Okay? There's an inevitability that is happening. Okay? There's a few inevitabilities in this world. One, inevitably you're going to pay taxes. Okay? That just is what it is. I mean, it's theft. We don't like it on this show. We all can agree on that. Okay?
Yes.
Wednesday at 9 o'clock, Plausible Foolishness will be here, bringing the fresh funk, burning down liberal logic all day long. Okay? It's inevitable. It's going to happen. All right? But the other inevitability is the fact that you're going to die. You're going to die. And you got to know where you're going to go. And I'm not trying to diss anybody else, but I don't remember Buddha coming back. Did anybody know that Buddha came back? Did he come back?
No.
Krishna come back yet?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, maybe in other forms because of reincarnation.
Yeah,
but...
Krishna never actually existed.
No, yeah, because he was like
person.
it's one of those lesser gods that really don't exist. But yeah, again, I don't know. It's crazy. Listen, Hitler. You progressives worship Hitler, in some form or fashion. Like he's still dead. Sorry. Every single sin that you and I commit, which we do on a daily basis, no matter what you think, you are sinful and rotten, just like me. I am the worst of the worst of the worst.
And so, are you saying that God's not dead? He's surely alive?
Yeah, yes, horrible song, but yes, I love the song. I love the expression. Jesus is still alive. Jesus died and came back, guys. Documented. Over 500 witnesses. You have 2 scholars that have nothing to do with Christianity that were actually secular at the time, accounting for Christ coming back. Your calendar is set to the point of the man who came, died, lived perfectly, died and came back. I'm going to hedge my bets, and it's not even a bet, it's a certainty. Sorry, hate to break it to you. And you know this too, Romans 1, that it's certain, it's a reality, that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And no one gets to the Father except through him. In all this madness and absurdity, the beautiful thing is this, though we rant, rave, and have fun mocking liberal logic, we sleep like I was going to use a really bad joke, but I'm not going to. I'm going to censor myself because I'm talking about Jesus right now. But let's just say we sleep really, really good every night because we know where we're going. We know who our faith is put in. And we should never have fear or anxiety or put our faith in anything other than Jesus Christ, because he's the only thing that will sustain, that will maintain, and that will save us. So I encourage every one of our viewers, every person watching on Clapper, put your faith, your trust in the man, not even a myth, the legend, the almighty, the one and only Jesus Christ. You do that, and the matrix will be revealed. Joy will be brought to you, and the reality is this. You're going to live one way, and you're going to turn around real fast, because guess what, man? The power of the Holy Spirit, the power of the salvation that Christ brings, the truth that God brings, can't be measured in any earthly form or fashion. And that's why we can come on here and be a bunch of jackhole idiots and sound like we're semi-intelligent. Because guess what? It's not us. It's the wisdom that Christ gives us because we put our faith and trust in him. I encourage you, I implore you, make that decision so that you can have fun watching the world burn down, because you know where you're going to go when this is all said and done. That's my final thought.
My final thought is A, I agree with everything you just said. We don't have to live in fear because we know that our hope lies beyond this mortal coil. That being said, I also want to be Joseph, who, when the dream was revealed to mean that 7 years of prosperity would turn into 7 years of famine, decided it best to be prepared for the famine. And so, my family has started stockpiling some stuff, like toilet paper. I don't know if you remember all the way back to
March.
2020
It's really far
when
along.
toilet paper just disappeared. You know, I want to be prepared. I'm investing in Bitcoin. This is not financial advice, but I'm investing in Bitcoin because I fear that the dollar is going to go the way of the dinosaurs. And I think that Bitcoin is the hardest currency that the world has ever seen. Meaning, it's the most unmanipulated, most purest form of currency that we'll have ever seen.
Yes.
And it's not tied to any state or any entity at all, which is, I think, very valuable if you care about personal sovereignty and freedom and liberty and all these things that we talk about. Food's a little more difficult, but I think we should be all thinking about that. Basically what I'm saying is I'm urging people, prepare. Now is the time. Now is the time. Really, 10 years ago was the time.
True.
But it's still not, it's not over yet. Let's just a little bit of preparation. Who knows how far that's going to take you?
Yeah.
Ultimately, yes, our faith is in Christ, but let's not be that guy who, when the floodwaters came in, climbed onto his roof and prayed to God to save him, knew in his heart of hearts that God was going to save him. And when the person on the boat pulls up and says, "Hey, come on, get in the boat," he says, No, don't worry. God's going to take care of me. I have faith. And then when the person in the jet ski or whatever comes by and he's like, "Come on, let's go, I can get you to safety." He's like, No, don't worry, brother. God's got my back. I have faith. And then when the helicopter zooms over and says, "This is the last chance. We're making our final rounds before we run out of gas. Come on, we're going to get you to safety." He's like, "Friend, thank you for your concern, but I've got God on my side because I have faith." And then he dies in the flood. And God says, and he says to God, "God, I had faith. Why didn't you save me?" And God says, "Well, I sent a jet ski and a boat and a helicopter and you ignored all of them." Don't be that guy either. It's okay to prepare even if you have faith that God is going to get you through. It's because we have faith that we prepare. It's because we have faith that we even see the need to prepare. Because there's plenty of people in this world who are like, "Everything's fine. Yeah, they got hacked. Hacker's gonna hack, Hacker's gonna hack, and then it'll be all back to normal. Don't worry."
Yeah.
Sure, we can print money forever. They said we can print money forever. They know. They're in charge. They're the smart ones. The fact that we can see that there might be a problem ahead is all thanks to God. So let's do something with that information He blessed us with and prepare. And it may not even be that we need it. Maybe we'll be a rampart for others who didn't, And maybe we can be that light that says, "Yes, I can help you. And you know what? I can help your immortal soul as well." Well, I can't, but I can show you who can.
True.
I know you're feeling a lot of despair, but I can show you the peace that passeth all understanding.
Yep.
And it has nothing to do with this stockpile that I have.
Nope.
True that.
There's more than just yourself as a reason, and your family as a reason, if that's not enough, which it is for me, to prepare. But I ultimately I want to be I want to be Joseph. He saved the nation of Israel. He saved his whole family.
Saved Egypt.
And saved all of Egypt. He saved all people because he prepared.
Yep.
You know? How does God save his remnant if not people who prepared? You know, I mean, he can do it miraculously, but he doesn't need to because he has people, faithful people who prepared.
True.
That's it.
Amen. Amen,
I'm
brother.
done.
I'm done.
I have to follow that? That was amazing.
Well, you know, they don't call me the Ivory Tower for nothing.
That
Ivory
For
Tower.
2 weeks.
the truth that just got spoken between these two great men.
Great, man.
Great.
Well,
Oh, wait.
great at the moment.
Sure.
Give them about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
No, my final thoughts. Definitely, we need to prepare. Not just we need to prepare food, money, water, supplies. But we also need to prepare our hearts and minds. How do we prepare our hearts and minds? The rest is pretty self-explanatory. Get food that doesn't spoil. Get water as much as you can carry. You know, get supplies that are necessary for daily life, and prepare for the worst. But how do you prepare your hearts and mind? Your mind, you keep sharp. You look for truth. By looking for truth will keep your mind sharp. And your heart, you look in the Word. The Word of God is the best way to protect your heart from the darts and from the evils of this world.
It's also the truth, so.
And that also helps sharpen the mind. So the Word of God is the best way we know how to protect ourselves against all the principalities. So if you haven't opened up your Bible lately, open it up. Especially read Romans. Read through that. That'll tell you everything you need to know about what it is to be a Christian and what it means to be a Christian. Follow the life of Christ. He had a ministry of 3 years that spanned a total of 2,000 years and will continue well beyond us. We have a wonderful God who has promised us a place in heaven if we but do one thing: declare Him to be our Lord and Savior. That's all you have to do. That's all He requires of us, is to declare that He is your Lord and Savior.
Amen.
So, my final thought is, take care of your heart, take care of your mind, and pray to God that He protects all of us.
Amen, brother. Amen, brother. Take us home, man. Take us home, baby.
Well, you've been watching Plausible Foolishness. We are the two kings of the Rube Empire.
Woo!
The Philosopher King. That side. The Iron King. The Ivory Tower. The Ebony Rampart. And Dusty. Whatever.
Who pays your taxes?
We forced to pay taxes. But for everybody else, the Rube Empire, in the Rube Empire, the people are free, the taxes are voluntary, and we serve freshly roasted liberal logic. Every Wednesday at 9 p.m. right here on twitch.tv/plausiblepoolishness, YouTube, Facebook Live, and anywhere you can get podcasts. And friends, frankly, support us. We're asking for your support because it helps us keep doing this, and we want to expand it. We want to do more of this. Tell your friends. Share this sucker. If you want, rip it and cut it up and put clips on the internet. Whatever, man. We don't care.
Take it, baby.
Comment, like, all those things that help us get out there and try to grow this thing. Because we have a blast doing it. We want to do more of it. You're here. You're enjoying it. It seems.
And the only way we can grow is if you help us.
Yep, support.
Amen.
So we appreciate you, Rube. You credulous rubes of the Rube Empire.
Credulous.
All right, guys. Have a great night.
See ya.
Peace.
Bye.